Welcome to another episode of Review on the Street. It's another beautiful Monday morning here right in the city of Ibadan. In our usual way, we'll be going through the front page of the newspaper as we pick out some of the screaming headlines of the front page of the newspaper. In our usual way, we'll be going to the next section of the program where we'll be engaging the bystanders, see through their analysis as a profile solution to some of the germane stories on the front page of the newspaper. I am your regular anchor, Yakin Abidemi. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This morning I'll be starting with me this morning as the Nation newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, and the Vanguard newspaper. This morning I'll be starting with the Nation newspaper, and on the screaming headlines and the top stories we have there says, private businesses group on VAT status. We are confused. State laws, court rulings creates problems of how and where to pay. States will reject FIRS bid to alter exclusive lists. Imam seek political solution. You can read more on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Vaccination by public servants now mandatory. That is coming from the Osun State government. 400 PhD holders teaching in Oyo secondary schools. 550 are non-indigents. Read more on page 8 of the Nation newspaper. Ex-CBN chief Mailafia taken to Trill Hospital in 2 days. Read more on that on page 8 of the Nation newspaper. Population census likely next year. Presidential proclamation expected soon. Read more on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And on to the next one, we have the Nigerian Tribune. And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, we have Naira appreciates by 209% in 6 years. CBN defend currency with $130 billion rollout terms of policy. Kyari is CEO. Ararume chair board as Buhari directs NNPC Incorporation. Read more on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. Beyond the tantrum, practical ways to save the Naira. You can read more on that on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Oyetola compel COVID-19 vaccination for cabinet members and public servants. You can read more on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Tinkan, honest debtors, Calabar ports collapsing. MPA raises the alarm. Details on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. Vigilantes kill 11 bandits, rescue 2 abductees in Kogi. Gunmen invade church, abduct 3, kill 1. Read more on page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune. Obadiah Mailafia dies at 64. Page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. VAT FIRX amendments move futile, dead on arrival. Akeredolu. You can read more on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. At HID remembrance, cleric decrees double standards, embracing crime. Read more on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Mieti Allah to meet Southeast governors over anti-open grazing. Read more on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. To the Vanguard newspaper, we have a big one there, VAT. Talking about the value-added tax. VAT war, OPS fears double payments. That is Organization of Private Sectors of Nigeria, fears double payments, heads to court. Amendment sought by FIRS at NAS, dead on arrival. That is coming from Akeredolu. Read one on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Oshodia Papa gridlock. Truckers defy LASG order. Shutdown movement again. Read one on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. PIA Ararume emerge board chairman as Buhari directs incorporation of NNPC Limited. Read more on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. 11 billion naira police equipment contract fraud. How infighting within MPTF, MGT led to ICPC's petition investigation. You can read more on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. How is Vanguard columnist Mailafia died. Read more on page 17 of the Vanguard newspaper. First Bank expand IMTO network to boost remittance inflow. Read more on that on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Insecurity relocates or face their consequences. Ondo monarch orders one bandit. Details on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. Armed gang invade Lagos street, injured many, loot shop. Details on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Gunmen on rampage in Enugu, Imo, Anambra, Kogi, Q7 kidnap 2, Q3 policemen, 2 others in Anambra, Q1 abduct 2 worshippers in Kogi, Q1 students injure 5 others in Imo, set ablaze INEC office in Enugu. Read on page 28 of the Vanguard newspaper. Columnist away Lakema, you can read more on that story on page 16. And with that, we've come to the end of the first segment of the program. And we'll move on to the next segment of the program where we'll be engaging the bystanders, collect their views, check through their analysis as they prefer solutions. Stay back.
This issue in two ways. Constitutionally, on the list, we have the concurrent the list on the concurrent. The issue of VAT is on the concurrent list. The state government can, and when we say concurrent list, you know, it's either by federal government together with the state governments. So, but if we want to look, you know, in depth of the values on this, the law pretend that wherever they are producing the goods, automatically that state has rights to to collect VAT on it for development of that particular state. So for the government to come now, though, when we look at our own structure, the government we are practicing federal government, federal system of government rather. So but going by the way the federal government is it seems as if it's going to tell more on the state government. So they have to put it into considerations. There's nothing bad to me, or that's my own view now. There's nothing bad for the state government to collect these parts and then remit part of it to the federal.
Okay, very well. Okay, it's stated clearly in the Constitution that VAT collection is in on the concurrent list, the same way we have education in the concurrent list. Now, can we now say that the reason why we're having this controversy is because the federal system of government we're practicing is not a full federal system or nothing but a feeding bottle federalism? Okay, in what way now do you now think the federal government can actually strike a balance within that areas to allow the state government to be doing this, right, and remitting some part of it to the federal government? Because now the OPS, that is Organization of Private Sectors Companies of Nigeria, are calling out to the federal government to address the issues to avoid double payment of VAT. So now, in what way do you think the federal government can actually address that? I want you, in your own analysis, let's see if you can provide solution.
As far as I'm concerned, we thank God that many of our governors, they are lawyers, and then they believe in law. Now I learned that they are taking things to the House of Rep for, final considerations. As
it is now, do you think we have much of northern governors, right, actually subscribing to the ideas of the southern governor? Because when you look at it as it were now, it appears that the southern government are the one taking lead as far as this struggle is concerned.
No, they are, because they benefit from it. No, now let me tell you now, Gombe states, they collected I cannot, but the amount collected by federal government from the Gombe states, the same amount remitted back. But for Lagos states and the river states that are champion this thing now, is because the amount collected from them too much, and then they return little. So that is where the bone of contest is. None of the state governments. I heard of one governor from the north. I cannot remember the specific seats. He said clearly that though it is right of the state government to do what, to collect this part, but for the southern governments, most especially Lagos State and the River States, where they are collecting huge amount of money on this kind of things, they are appealing to them that they should be their own brother. And let me quote that man, that they should please be their own brothers keepers. They know it's very clearly that.
Well, sir, so let's look at other stories here.
All right.
The case of meet southern governors over anti-open grazing. This has been with us for quite some times now. What do you think about the issue of southern open grazing?
It is because of the way the federal government are handling it. Fulani has been in our midst. We have been together. We have intermarriage between the Fulani and Yorubas and the Igbo and what have you. And this thing we have not been. They are part and parcel of our community. But the way the federal government, led by our presidents, the way they are handling things, made it to generate to this level. Let us call it a spade a spade. When somebody is having the action potent criminality, let us call that person criminal.
Okay, now are you now subscribing to the? Are you actually supporting the argument of Professor Akintoye when he said the Yeti Allah should be labeled a criminal group or a terrorist group by the world leaders?
Go and verify who are the Boko Harams. How many tribes do we have in them? When this girl was kidnapped and she was about to escape, we heard what the girl said. The guy said that he was rearrested by Fulani's herdsmen that were, rearing something, and they took her back to Boko Haram base. So who are Boko Harams? I want to tell you, Boko Harams, with all the verified, evidences that we have, look at this critically. 90% of Fulanis are Boko Harams.
Very well, sir. So let's look at this. Vigilante kills 11 bandits, rescue 2 abductees in Kogi, and we saw that lately as well, killings, government on rampage in Enugu, Imo, and Abraku. No, are we driving? If not outrightly there, are we actually driving to the Obesian state of nature?
You see, for those of us that we believe strongly in God, we know that Nigeria is a divine project, and any government that want to toy with Nigeria, by the fact of my own experience, they are going to pay for it. All these things, and then by going by our forces that we have, police force, Nigerian army, air force, what have you, they are very brilliant officers all over the world. But if they are handicapped by government, that's nothing they can do. They are not giving them, the room to operate. And that is why all this is. Who are those things? I know them. I know our police officers, our Nigerian soldiers. We know them. They are very brilliant. All over the world, they know that they are very brilliant soldiers, brilliant police officers. But when the governments, when they are not performing, go and ask what is the hand of government in that situations. So all this that is happening, we pray that before Nigeria will be collapsed, God will intervene.
Gbogbo alọ́kàn ẹ̀ tó bá sọ pé wọ́n ń jà ń bì kan kò dọ́dọ̀ ọ̀hún ó ń tọ́ra rẹ̀ jẹ ni. Tágbàrá bá ń sàn bọ̀ tí wọ́n bá yẹ tè kọ́ńtù ẹ̀ lókè tẹ́nìkan sọ pé kọ̀ọ̀kan wọn bàtà tó bá yadé ọ̀dọ̀ wọn náà ní bọ̀ àṣìṣàlẹ̀. So ọbẹ̀ tà kí federal government kó takù security gan kẹ́dẹ̀ fún àwọn governors wa lágbára agbára yẹgúrẹ́dì ní fún governors wọn ò lágbára lórí security agents kankan ṣe get me and security àwọn governors wọ́n gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ wọn lágbára gan tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n á máa checkmate wọn látòkè because for the interest of this country bàtà tẹ bá ń check governor á máa bẹ̀rù kí wọ́n yọ òun kí wọ́n declare state of emergency tó wá fẹ́ gbé tough kíní fún àwọn people yìí ṣe get me òun ká máa súkì kò ní fẹ́ ṣe ètò ẹ̀kọ́ òun ṣe kó fi cup kíní yìí.
Mìíràn yàrá wọ́n sọ pé mìíràn yàrá wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ìsàárẹ̀ ipò láwọn gómìnà tí wọ́n wà ní apá ọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bí pé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ open grazing tàwọn Fúlàní darandaran kí lè ro tiyín.
Wọ́n ní right àti ṣe ìpàdé àgbọ́yé náà ní láàrin méjèèjì.
Ẹ̀yin rò pé
nǹkan tí gómìnà tó bá ń fẹ́ ló máa prevail. Yes kì í ṣe pé individual ló máa lálé wọn lórí wọ́n ní power àti ṣe. A ní more than 200 tribes ní country kò wá ṣe pé ẹ̀yà kan ló a máa da àmú country káàkiri ṣẹ́gẹ̀t ni so ọ̀túnmákálẹ̀ wọ́n ní Yorùbá ní pé ewé wà lára aṣu la fi ń bọ̀wọ̀ kẹ̀kẹ́ tí ò bá sílé ewé lára aṣu mọ́ kẹ̀kẹ́ mọ̀ pé kẹ̀kẹ́ gan ti sẹ́ ìṣùgbọ́n a mọ̀ pé òun ò jẹ́ nǹkan kan wọ́n lè ṣèpàdé wọ́n ní right àti ṣèpàdé pẹ̀lú wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo ìpàdé tí wọ́n bá ṣe pátá gọ́vnọ̀ ló gbọ́ prevail wọn ò lè là fún gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ẹ̀yà kan ni wọ́n out of more than 200 tribes in this country only Fulani throughout the world they have known their tribes now they are just spoiling their tribes everywhere anywhere you see Fulani you just look them as terrorists as murderers as kidnappers it is not good.
lórí ọ̀rọ̀ VAT value added tax tó ń dájàlẹ̀ láàrin ìjọba àpapọ̀ àti ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ kí lè ro tiyín ṣé ẹ̀yin rò pé owó yìí lóòótọ́ tá a bá wo òfin dáadáa inú abala òfin tí ọ̀rọ̀ VAT yìí tó wà ìjọba àpapọ̀ àti ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ló ní ààyè lòfin gbà láàyè láti kópa níbẹ̀ ṣòye ṣùgbọ́n ìjọba àpapọ̀ ń sìn àwọn ni wọ́n rí pé ló jẹ́ pé àwọn ni wọ́n ń gba owó yìí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí sọ pé àkókò ti tó àwọn náà fẹ́ máa mójútó kí lè ro tiyín ṣe rò yí pé bóyá.
ikun lọ bẹ́kún wa ẹkún ló dẹ̀ bá kún wa láyé àwọn bàbá wa bàbá olówó àǹtàdáná Sokoto Sikh ó kálukú wà láàyè ẹ̀ ni wọ́n contribute to the center ni bóyá 50% or 20% or 30% ní fún center ó kálukú manage resources ẹ̀ ni wọ́n dẹ̀ lẹ́nu little development ní west if not so abatimọ́ ní kankan but nígbà yẹn parliamentary system of government wọ́n fààyè gbà káyì little development àfi ní west níbí táwọn bàbá olówó ṣe fún wa ńlá dem proud lé lórí àti ìrẹ́ ọkàn lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ now ó lè tẹ́ bá ní okay wọ́n láwọn ń gba VAT good they are not the owner of the land you may control port seaport airport anything but the land where you are controlling belong to the governors. I don't understand. Now, I read it inside the newspaper now that Tinkan, Delta Port, Kawa Port, they are collapsing. What are they doing with the VAT? Are they supposed to collapse? We are not saying anything they are doing, but allow each state to collect their VAT. Then join hands together to repair those ports. I don't know, airports, seaport, everything has collapsed in federal government structures. Federal government will hold state government responsible. You are collecting VAT. You are collecting duty on
like bí nǹkan tẹ́ site nsìn láyé àwọn Awólọ́wọ̀ tó yẹ pé regionalism tó ń gba VAT gbẹ̀ ní each region tó ń dẹ̀ remit at least some to the central government. I believe the development one by so now if you can go back to that same history, visit history and do the same thing the same way we had it in the past, I believe we okay, it will hasten development and promote this thing growth in all states.
That will be the best thing for Nigeria. Let everybody manage resources. If you manage resources and you are not developing your own region, that's your own perils. That's your own problem. During the Baba Olawas and Co, everyone know what happened. The way West was going. If we are gone beyond America and Britain, if not because of federal the what they call it, federalism or what is. Everybody's region, east, west, and Yoruba, very, very talented and very, very brilliant people in Yoruba land. In the administration, in every economics, everything. Yoruba people have gone, meet America, meet it. If I come to Yoruba, western region here, to come and learn. But now, they dictate from north, and they dictate from central. If you say this is what you want from your people, governor says this is what you want for his people, the central may oppose it. They may oppose it, federal government will oppose it, and they will not allow it to happen.
Thank you very much.
Keep bringing backward to this country, and they don't know. They thought they have power. They are doing dancing. Everywhere, nothing is moving. Let me tell you, nothing is moving in Nigeria. If something is moving, it's individually.
Tell you they've been doing their best to arrest the ugly situations of insecurity in this country. Do you think the federal government is doing enough?
They are not capable of taking care of the security at all. They are not capable of it. They are not capable.
What way do you think the federal government should, in what areas do you think they should work?
They should have tried to do more so that maybe they can capture them. They're supposed to conquer them.
Conquer who?
I mean the bandits and all these idiots.
Daddy, are you equally aware about the disagreements and the controversies between the federal government and the state government as regards the issue of VAT, that is value-added tax?
But my own view says, it's the state government that finances all the citizens of the country. So they are supposed to leave the VAT to state governments. Yes.
Do you think if the state government is entrusted with collections of VAT, do you think it will actually yield, it will actually transform the development in the state at the state level?
Of course, yes. In most cases, the state government are the people that are taking care of the state citizens.
I'll be drawing the curtains on today's episode of Review on the Street. The next one will be coming on your screen. I'm your regular uncle Yekin Abidemi. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, Heritage TV. And you can also be our friend on Facebook, Heritage TV. My editor, Akintola Ibrahim. Bye for now.